Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 123. In today's episode, we are going to dive into the 10 most asked questions that I often receive while we are on a Twin Flame journey. And I'm going to go through all of them just to give you a overview and perspective of certain things. I'm just going to say that in order to dive deep and in order to understand it in a stronger level or in a better level, of course, each one of these questions would require a separate episode. But today let's dive into the most asked questions, and if you have any questions that you want to ask, put them down in the comments and we'll make another episode with a similar where we dive into that. And maybe on this episode you will get an answer that you have been looking for. If you're new here, hit the like and subscribe button, because I can see that it's about 80% of you who are listening haven't yet subscribed or have not yet connected. But I'm just going to say that all of the way of receiving energy is the way to connect. And when we connect better, and this we have seen now with all of the workshops, all of the retreats, you will have, you come through me. And that has happened many, many times. So my dear Twin Flames, you most probably found this episode of realizing what is going on with me. And let's begin with the first thing, that do every one of us have a twin flame on this earth? And the truth is no. And not all of us have a twin flame, and that's why you who were activated your twin flame's energy with that divine love, with that divine connection, now it's for you to unite, connect with that love, connect with your twin, and as showing in a way of higher realms of love and healing through that, transformation through that. So not every one of us have a twin flame, and that's why I have said often, and I will say it again, you are very lucky that you met your twin flame in this lifetime. Even though I know it can feel painful, and I know it can feel unfair, and I know it feels like, how am I lucky? I'm here crying, I'm here feeling so much pain, I'm here, I don't understand, I feel so much loneliness, I feel so sad, I don't want to continue this, I want to get rid of that, and you telling me that I'm lucky? Yes, you are. Unfortunately, when we meet our twin flame, it can take some time by the time it opens up for us, and that's why I say everyone's journey is unique, and not every one of us have a twin flame. And that's why when we talk of a twin flame, I'm going to go into the next slide, who and what is twin flame, and based on my understanding so far, when we meet our twin flame, we are often misunderstood of the fact of, oh yeah, you have a crush on someone, or yeah, you have a deep feelings towards someone, but they don't have the same feelings for you. Let it go, move on with your life. Why do you love this person so much? And you ask yourself the same questions, like, why on earth do I love someone so much who barely talks to me, who avoids me, who doesn't talk to me, but yet at the same time I feel that they are very close to me. I have so many synchronicities are happening to me. I feel like the world is opening up for me. I just can't stop it. It's like you hear what others are saying, but you can't stop it. And twin flame connection is divine, and it's very beautiful. And I have a theory, or I have a belief, that God or the universe or the creator made it happen in this way, that not everyone has it. And it's kind of a sacred connection. And it's something we need to embody inside of us, but we need to become one with that energy. And it's not actually meant for sharing so much with others. It's meant for you to open the heart inside of you. So I believe that there is a reason why not all of us have it. That actually brings me to the next question, next question I often receive, like, how do I know if someone is my twin flame? Or how can I be sure that I am on that twin flame journey and maybe I just have a crush? And the first thing I would actually say, which I somehow wish I would have listened or I would have connected with in the beginning, but I know our mind is very stubborn at this time. It doesn't matter about the label. This label, when we start hearing and reading about twin flames, actually brings us, yes, the peace. It does, because all of a sudden you're realizing, oh wow, I'm experiencing all of these things and it's a twin flame. But here is also another part, and that is very dangerous when it comes to the labels, is the fact that we read something, we connect with something, and sometimes on internet it can be not so right, or it depends how we are receiving information. Because and we start categorizing, yes, I have this, yes, I have this, this must be my twin flame, this is what is happening. And then you are in a mindset, and this is a very dangerous mindset what we have. And I'm not saying that you cannot be in a relationship with your twin flame. Believe me, you can. This year alone, we are only in February, and I said that before, that this year a lot of divine masculines, so-called divine masculines, those who haven't awakened yet, will awaken, and there is a cosmic reason, there is a numerology reason, there's a lot of reasons for that. And this year alone, just now we are on the 18th February, I have received, I think every other day, where someone says, I'm back in touch with my twin flame, I can't believe that they are here. This is what is happening. This is what is happening. And I receive that every other day. So just to say, it is happening. That you can be in a relationship with your twin flame. But now, what happens often, and I see that and happened to me as well, and I'm not here to say that you are doing something wrong. We get in our head that a twin flame is a relationship. And it only happens when we are in a relationship. So you only will think of, I'm only in alignment and in a union when my twin is in a 3D life next to me and telling to me that is a love. And here is something that I'm going to say is wrong information, and it's not the idea. Because if twin flames would be the idea that you have a romantic relationship with them from the day one or a couple of months later or however, and there is no such a separation, there wouldn't be such a heart opening for you to see the divine love. You would meet your soulmate, and that's beautiful too. Soulmates are absolutely wonderful partners, and you really feel safe and you feel real good with them. But your twin flame came to your life to show you who you are from your higher self perspective. So that's why there is a separation, whether we like it or we don't like it. And that's why you can't stop thinking of them. But the idea is not romantic relationship. Like, that's the first thing. If you're able to separate that from your mind, that it's not about the romantic relationship. It's about my spiritual ascension. It's about for me to connecting with my heart, opening my heart, opening my subconscious, getting into the version of who I am. You're also able to create the reality, whether it's with your twin or without your twin. But the dangerous part here, which I see very often, is twin flame is your best romantic partner. I'm going to say something. When I was going through that pain, I felt exactly the same way. I did feel that it's the most divine connection I ever felt, the love I ever felt, and it made me to be afraid that I will never experience that amount of love or that amount of energy that I felt at that moment, which is actually not true. Now, when I have done quite a lot of spiritual work, still I'm in the baby shoes, still I have a lot to go. There is always, we can develop, we can always connect, but When you connect within yourself, you will see how the change and shift starts to happen. So if you, and why I'm talking about it in that way, that if you are able to not to categorize, for example, right now, and I have a test, which I often do. For example, if you come to the call, I often listen to your frequency. I have certain questions I'm asking from you, and I'm seeing, okay, where is it landing for me? Okay, what is happening to you? And I'm also going to say that you can have a chance and that you meet so-called false twin flame, so the person who triggers for you to actually meet your twin flame. So it's not always a wrong thing when, and that's why I say, don't get touching labels. Say to yourself, I felt something very divine. I felt electricity through my body. I see them in my dreams. I see the synchronicities. It's all happening. So whether we call it twin flame, or whether we call it quantum couple, whether we call it however, it is happening to me. So now I'm going to start going to connect with that. I'm not going to wait for them to call me, tell me all of that. I'm going to connect with that energy. I've spoken a lot about it. Why is it so important? Because I did the opposite and I don't recommend. But I also want to read here for a moment about the twin flame in that sense of what is the real love. And that's why when I said in prior that not every one of us in this earth have a twin flame. And that's why twin flames also have a mission to share this love, to open the heart, to heal, transform, and show how we can shift and change the world. So it's not only about a romantic relationship, but I'm not saying that you cannot be with your twin flame. Not at all. I see this, like I said, every other day these days I receive an email, and also on my Instagram, sometimes you can see it in the comments and things like that. It is happening. Totally. And for some of us, it's right now. For some of us, it's later stage in their life. However, there is no way that meaning of you have to be alone and you can't have love. That is another very wrong way of seeing it. Your twin flame actually came to make you alive. But it comes through the pain to get rid of the fears. And Eckhart Tolle has said, that those of you who have read The Power of Now, for example, and there's a lot of other good books from Eckhart. And I love what he says over here, and really take that on a twin flame journey as well. What is commonly called falling in love is in the most cases identification of egoic wanting and needing. You become addicted to other person, or rather to your image of that person. But it has nothing to do with the true love, which contains no wanting whatsoever. So I put this also up on that you can see it on the posts over here. And why do I say that? Whoever it is, whether we call it God, universe, however, when we meet our twin flame, it is there to activate. So now that comes to the next question. Why did I meet my twin flame? It feels such a wrong time. I'm married, or I have a boyfriend, or they are married, and why did we meet now? Like, what was the reason for us to meet now? It feels like a wrong time. Well, actually, it was the right time. It was exactly the time when you were ready to receive something so divine. And of course, it makes it very, very difficult when you are in a relationship. But your twin flame came to save your life. And you did the same for your twin. So it's not that you met your twin flame for the fact of that it's a wrong time and everything is now working out and now it's very hard. Your twin flame came to mirror to you that what you're doing wrong. Maybe your marriage is wrong and maybe you have to step out of it. Maybe the time is up there and your twin came to show you that. Maybe you need to fix the way you receive love especially yourself? Do you take care of yourself in the sense of receiving love, or are you surviving? Do you see who you are in terms of your work, in terms of the people you are around with? All of these things, they matter. So you did not meet your twin flame for the punishment. You met them to show you what needs to get into alignment. And often, of course, when we meet our twin flame, a lot is going to happen. We have a lot of confusion because the truth is coming in front of you. And when we have truth in front of us, we kind of need to accept it. So it's a way of connecting to the understanding that you are just meeting yourself, who says to you, it's time to wake up. It's time to show who you are. So it's not a bad thing. And if your life is going to change and shift, it's going to happen. And I'm actually going from here to another thing that I often see what we do on this journey. So this is not a question, but I'm just going to give an advice. And really take that advice. And I'm not saying that you have to date somebody else. I'm not saying that you have to go and find somebody else. I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is you focus on yourself. You focus on your spiritual growth. Because if you have really met your twin flame, that's the first thing. First thing that starts to happen is the connection to the God, to the universe, to the creator. You're connecting to that source. And that's very scary, and it can make you feel out of your body. It can make you feel a lot of things that you have never felt before. But one of the number one thing is the spiritual growth, that it starts to trigger. And I can see many of you and also what can be, this is another thing, that you have another person who might trigger the spiritual growth, do their energy, but they might not be your twin flame, but they trigger that in you, and then you meet your twin flame. So they're kind of like a messenger beforehand. That's why, again, I'm repeating the same thing, that don't get stuck in label. Let's just go and dive into what is happening to you and how we can bring that truth into this life and into that alignment. Often when we have a first consultation call, we dive into whether you are on a twin flame journey or not. And there we have a little test. Like I said, I listen to your frequency, I see what's happening to you, and then we test the universe. And that gives us actually very quickly the answer whether you are or not on that twin flame journey. And that's why I say it's not a romantic relationship, it is your spiritual ascension. And the more you're focusing on your spiritual ascension, the more you're actually seeing why your twin flame came to your life. Are you supposed to with your twin flame? And that's now comes to the next question. Are all twin flames going to be together as couples, or going to get married, or being romantic? And for example, here is another thing I often see. A lot of us who haven't had a chance to be, let's say, in a romantic relationship with their twin flame, or connecting with their twin flame for many years, or they don't have that chance, they start feeling that they are less of a worthy than others, because you see, others are in a connection, others are in love. And I really, really want to say for that, no, you are not less of a worthy if you are not with your twin flame in a romantic relationship, because that's not the idea. The idea is for you to connect of who you are, what this person came to your life to show you and help you to heal and transform and to sit with those fears. And here is just, I will talk about on one of the episodes, what happens when we start to let go of the fears inside of us. And we go into there and all kind of models, what kind of fears we have, what fears we feel while we are in a separation, and all of these kind of things. But your twin came for that. I have no doubt, and this is another thing I am more than 100% sure, When you open your heart, when you become one within yourself, and you are love, no more fears, no more limiting beliefs, no more self-sabotage, no more these kind of things. And I'm just going to say it's not going to happen overnight. Many of us will be thinking that, oh, I step into healing, I have one session and boom, magic will start to happen. No, it's not working like that. If you have been repeating limiting beliefs for you 20 years, then just be ready that it is a longer process. Faster than anything else, but a longer process in the fact of how embodied it is inside of you. But with the healing, especially with hypnosis, quantum healing, Kundalini activations, you get there faster. But fast doesn't mean one day. So why I talk about this, because we have this idea, again, that if someone is in a relationship, wow, they know what they're doing. I have seen many times twin flames, whether it's on social media or whether it's somewhere else, they are so-called twin flames and they are in a relationship. And you can really easily tell, and very quickly to tell, that despite the fact that they are in a relationship, they're not better than you. Because if you are love, you can attract someone who is aligning with you, and whether it's a soulmate, whether it's somebody else. Normally the soulmate will come, and your twin can come. But I don't want that you're sitting here of thinking, oh, because I am not with my twin flame, then I'm not good enough. Why? You met something so divine. Of course, I'm going to say here something. The truth is what we are seeking on this journey. We're starting to realize, wanted to know, is it only me who felt this way? Why they are not coming? Why we are not together? All of these kind of things. It's very, very normal that we feel this way. So it's not a bad thing. But the issue comes down to here that we put conditions, how it has to be in order for you to feel peace. And I know, here is very biased. I'm going to say very biased. Because for me, yes, it was. The moment my twin told me everything that happened to him, everything that he was going through, how he felt about the connection, what were the things that happened to him, I got that peace, yes. Because my mind was finally like, okay, yeah. But to be honest, I spoke about this in the previous episode, how my twin returned back to my life. But I felt that peace before. Meaning of I came to that field, the quantum field, where I saw and I feel it. And then it happened in 3D. I have no doubt if you have met your true twin flame, that you are not connected. Of course you are connected. Because if we can connect with strangers, we can connect with our twin flame even better than anybody else. So what are the stages on the twin flame journey? So what stage I am in it? This is a very common question I get, where I'll be asked, what stage I am in it right now? Am I in this stage? Am I in that stage? I'm going to list it here a little bit. But twin flame journey is not linear. So it starts to, there is a beginning that is quite clear. Some of us it's a bit different, I'm going to say, because it depends on when and how we met. Some of us it's a bit different, but let's say the first thing is normally, and that's what happens to you. When twin flames, they meet, you're having this intense and instant connection. It feels like time and space stops. Something is different from their moment on. You don't understand what is happening. And I'm going to say that you can meet your twin flame online, but just be careful of the online, okay? Not everyone who says to you, I love you, not everyone who cares about tells you all of the things, meaning it. And this is the why I talk about becoming a higher self. You need to learn the energies. Not everything what people say is the truth. You need to be able to feel and embody with your senses. Is that the truth, or there is something happening? But you can meet, like it can be just a one blink of an eye moment. And you have, and one of the most common thing, this is the one of the most common thing, is that you're feeling that you have arrived home. You feel, I have come home. All of a sudden you have that enormous feeling, I have arrived. I'm here. I'm feeling like home. And you really recognize each other on a soul level, but you still don't understand what is happening. Even though you can be spiritually aware, you don't understand it on that spot that you have met your soul in another body. That energy is you. And it often happens to be in a opposite sex, but it doesn't mean it can be in the same sex. So if you're a woman, your twin flame can be a woman. If you're a man, your twin flame can be a man. And the other way around it, like if you're a woman, your twin flame can be a man. And if you're a man, your twin flame can be a woman. There can be an age difference. There can be a culture difference. There can be a lot of things. And there's a reason for it, which I spoke about in my previous episode. But so that's the first stage. And on that first stage, we often don't understand yet what happened to us. So the chances that you come across on that time with twin flame information or things like that is very unlikely, because you feel like you've been induced with something so magical, and there is so much love. All of a sudden, like I said, the time and space doesn't exist. You have a beautiful connection, and it can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it can be a couple of days, it can be more than a month or two. It depends a lot on our soul's evolution and what the soul needs for it. And it can be that you can be actually even for a long time relationship, and it's not opening up, and then all of a sudden it changes and shifts because you are ready for it. Nothing happens in your life when you are not ready for it. Then of course starts to have the test period, or the time where the twin flame starts to say to each other something, or they start to test the boundaries of the relationship. And it will bring out emotional wounds, insecurities, some fears might start to come up. And you feel like, why did you say this to me? Why did you do this to me? Or they don't anymore show the interest, and you feel like, did I do something wrong? And then comes to the point, and now here is the point where most of you are normally connecting me. So that's the beginning of the crisis or runner and chaser dynamic. So you both start to feel overwhelmed of the connection. One of you wants to be all the time together, feeling like, I want you to heal, I want you to see, I want you to be this, all of that. The other one is completely goes away, don't talk, don't do anything. And all of a sudden there is a silence. There's an absolute silence, and no one talks to each other. Or can be also a situation. There are many ways. So that's why I say, please listen to this podcast. If you don't get anything else out of it, get one thing out of it. Don't get stuck into the label of that's how it's supposed to be. You will hold yourself in prison with that. There are other ways, there are other possibilities, there are infinite ways of reality. So not only one thing applies, but there are, always a core element. There's always a core element. And then all of a sudden, your twin flame disappears. They don't talk to you. You might have arguments. You might not understand each other anymore. And you feel like, oh my God, what's happening to me? Did I do something wrong? What is happening to them? What is over there? And then comes the separation part. And that's where we dive now into your healing and transformation. So that's why I say that. I've said that on one of the other episodes. You'll not start the healing and transformation until you are in the stage of separation. And that's why the separation has to happen. And once you have done all the work, healing, transforming, connecting, getting into there, believe me, I did all of that. I did all of these steps that I'm now showing to you, where I'm doing the workshops, where I'm showing certain things, because I did all of that. And then comes the surrender and healing. So if you are wondering which stage I am in it, then just, because often it is like, am I already in a separation stage that I know that the next is surrendering and healing? Well, the surrendering and healing will come if you actually do the work for it. The surrendering, or that they're going to return. They are going to return. That's 100%. Even for those who are not in a relationship today, but I had a chance to connect and talk to, they even met their twin still in a 3D. Whether the twin rejected of them, of saying to them, no, I don't feel the same way, or I don't have the same understanding, but they still were able to see them again. So that's why I say your twin flame will never disappear in your life. They will not go away, but it is a journey of yours and a journey of oneness. And another thing I know, and this is another thing why I talk about twin flames, that you are blessed, and that's what I started from the beginning. Your life will change for so good, because the God, the universe, the creator has given you a second chance of living your authentic self. And when you are an authentic self, the universe starts to support you in everything of your business, of your family life, of your love, of the friendships, the things you're dreaming of. You become a master manifestator. But that will only come when we sit down with our fears and we let them out. And that's one of the most uncomfortable places to be in. And I understand we often have that. And this is why I'm never, ever saying to you that you shouldn't be feeling the way you do. Believe me, I felt everything you are feeling. That is my twin flame thinking of me. So that's another common question. Your twin flame, is your twin flame thinking of you? 100%. 100% your twin flame is thinking of you. And why do I know that? Because why they shouldn't? Your twin, like I think of even people who I meet. So of course they think of you. Now the question is, are they thinking of you the exact same way as you do? Well, that might not be the exact case. And another question is that I get very often is that, did my twin flame feel the same way? Now I'm going to say for those who had an experience such as the Kundalini rising on that moment. So you felt that the Kundalini activated, you felt the time and space stopped, you felt how you came home, you had that intense moment where you could even a little bit shake, or your heart starts to beat very fast, or you feel a little bit like sick and you don't understand what is happening to you. 100% they felt the same thing, because you created that field together. And if he was in that energetic or she was in that energetic field, they felt it too. And that's one of the reasons they run, actually. As it's scary, because you all of a sudden you don't know what's happening to you. And it can feel that you are sick. And if you happen to be a family, or if you happen to have things in your life, you feel like, I'm losing control. I don't know that person, but I love it so much. And now if you didn't really have the Kundalini activation, you really didn't feel that electric feeling or that electric bond, and it might not happen on the first time because you might not be ready for it, then they might not have felt it, because everything is energy. Just to say a simple example over here, when you enter to the room, let's say everybody is in silence, but you enter to the room where right before that was an argument, you can feel that there's intense energy. Even no one is saying anything, but you can feel it like, ooh, there is something here. And you feel uncomfortable. Or on the other way, there was just a lot of loving, kissing, a lot of people were all very friendly, and you enter to the room and you feel like, wow, it's so peaceful and so nice. So that's why I say to you that if you had electric connection, you both felt it. How do we translate this? What it was can be from one to another thing. If your twin has also told you, I dream about you, I see certain things, of course they felt. Of course they're thinking of you, of course they're seeing you. So that's why I say they definitely think of you. But do they always think of the exact same way? And this is now totally of their journey. So the next one actually comes to, can twin flames communicate through telepathy? And of course. And this I have now seen through channeling, through activations all the time, how twin flames, and you can communicate with others as well, but twin flames really communicate. And sometimes it's the fact that, and that's why I say be very, very careful of the 3D words and 3D actions. Learn to observe the energy, learn to connect with the energy. And the only way of doing it is through meditations, through activations, all of that. Because people can tell you something, but you can read them very differently. And I always, in that sense, I'm very open. I always say that it's all right how it is. I know what you're seeing. I know what you're saying. It's all right. But let's dive deeper. Let's get into deeper, because when we get deeper, we get liberated. And I will be having here the meditation where you can send the messages through telepathy, and telepathy happens through heart and your third eye. So you need to open these things. If your heart is closed, it's very difficult to send any messages. It's very difficult to connect. And so now you would say, but my twin's heart is completely closed. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you cannot receive it. Now, of course, they can push it away. But I'm going to say that if you are really on a twin flame journey, like you have met your real twin flame, even though they don't talk to you, you just know. And it's just inside of you, whether you like it or you don't like it. And of course, one of the things is that, how do I say that I know? And that's why I say, get yourself a journal. Write these things down. I have seen this now at beautiful souls who came to me and said, thank you for telling me this. I started to write these things down, and time went by, and they came to tell me, I didn't even remember all of these things. So you can feel your twins' emotions and feelings. You can really pick them up, because energetic connections, they transcend in distance, and you can feel it. I'm sure you can feel when your twin is actually sad, or when your twin is sick, or when something is happening to them. I'm 100% sure. You see them in dreams and visions. So you can have very vivid dreams of one another, and they can tell you through the dream something, why they don't do what they do. And often divine masculines, or the ones who are runner, they have a very blocked heart and very blocked throat chakra. These are the two things that are very blocked, and that's why we don't also get a clear message and understanding, because the heart is afraid to open and the throat cannot deliver it. Then you have sudden thoughts or messages. You just all of a sudden, like, you hear their voice in your head, or you hear they said something, and you're like, am I crazy? Am I feeling it? Is that real? You might also, and another thing I often say, how you can really, really test, and that's another thing, is through synchronicities. Today, set it up for yourself. You say, do you feel what I feel? Or are you afraid of this? Or I'm feeling that you feel this way. And then you say, show me a blue butterfly. Or show me a yellow dragon. Or show me an elephant. Or show me 1111. Or 222. Or 555. Or 888. Whichever way you want to feel. And you will receive the answer through that. But also don't do this like this, that you're asking some random questions. When you feel it, it's all about feeling it. I remember, like, one of the things that I did for a very long time, and that's why I say it's a bulletproof method of seeing if you have met your twin flame. And those of you who haven't heard that before already, or even though I think I mentioned this on every podcast, tell yourself, I'm not on a twin flame journey. I have not met my twin flame. That's not real. That's what happened to me is not real. I don't believe my twin flame loves me. I don't believe in that. And see what the universe is going to do. What kind of messages, what kind of synchronicities, what are the things that starts to come to your way? So another way of through telepathy, you might feel them. You really feel physical sensation, tingling, touch. You really feel that they're here. You really feel that, oh my God, I can feel it. It's there here. And I know stories and I totally believe in them where people can say, I had an energetic, pretty much sex with my twin flame, even though I know that physically this person was not here. I know that. But I could feel every single inch. I had that situation and that was very also scary for my mind, that I'm sitting in my car and I can tell, even though there was no one, and I know for some people they can say, hey, crazy, go and get some help. I can tell that I can feel that person next to me, the smell and the whole thing, and I see it with my eyes that there is no one, but I can tell that there is someone. And that's what now I totally believe in, because I do a lot of energetic activations. And where we use the quantum physics, where we use the quantum field. And I can transfer myself, even though I'm physically here, energetically I can transfer myself in across the world. And they can feel me. They can feel how I touch them. They can feel certain things. So to tell me that that's not real, no. But that, of course, happens in an elevated state. And it shows to you that time and space does not exist. And our bodies are not holding us here. So, but I know it's crazy when it's happening. Another day I received on Instagram the same message that I felt my twin standing behind me. And I said, yeah, it's totally. And it's not only my example. I've received so many examples. And what twin flames have very strongly is exactly through telepathy. They pick up each other's energy. That's why I say you also will be tested when you meet your twin flame in 3D. That are you in alignment or you are not in alignment within yourself. And your twin feels it very quickly. You don't have to say anything. But they really feel like, you're still in a fear. You still haven't opened your heart. Okay. And they might run again. They might not come. And it's not because they don't love you. And they also have their fears. Believe me, they have their fears. It's not so much about you. But why I'm saying it, that when you focus on you, you see the results. When you focus on them, you don't see the results because you're trying to change something outside while you need to change something inside. And that's the beauty. I know I did not understand this either. So that's why I'm not here to say that, you are doing something wrong. You are not smart. Oh my God, what you're doing. Not at all. I did everything what you did. Everything. But I figured it out in that way of, I have to change my inner energy. I have to become into the union within me. I'm not going to say here is one of another thing. I am a very big fan of channeling. And I'm going to say why I find channeling very helpful. Because when we are alone on this journey, and let's say you're receiving a lot of information, because that's what you do. You receive a lot of information. And then you have no one to share this with. And you don't know if this is a truth, or if this is a wishful thinking, or this is something you are creating, or what is this thing? And then when you have a chance to have a channeling where we connect with the souls, the truth starts to come in front of you. And you're realizing, oh my God, I'm not making this up. This is what's really happening. And there can be many weird things. And also, channeling has a very big power because you're connecting to the source. It does not mean that if you do channeling, your twin will return tomorrow. This is not the idea of that. And because so many of us, even though so many of us live a life not in alignment with them, who they are. They try to be somebody else. So now let's go into how do I manifest a twin flame union? And here are a couple of things that, like, how do I get my twin back? How do I get them back to my life? And will that happen now? Yeah, it will happen now. Totally, it will happen now. Because all we have is now. That's what we're learning power of now. All you have is now. You don't have past and you don't have future. And another day I posted this post about it, that what if it happens today, that your twin flame union happens today? That our mind often lives in it will not happen, how it is. Our mind is a lot in a negative pattern. But I want to say that everything happens today. And normally your twin reaches out to you when you least expect it. You no longer have that need or wanting. You are already in their union. And it's a beautiful moment when you see your phone, or they call you, or they tell you something. And you feel, and that moment when you're able to stay calm, of knowing, yes, I knew it all the time. When you get nervous, of course, then there is still work to do, because you go into the state, I'm going to lose them if I'm going to not do this or not do that. So the way of how you're going to manifest your twin flame is focus on your own spiritual growth. That's the number one thing. Because you create that energetic alignment, and that's necessary for reunion. That's so important, because if you have no longer fears and no longer disbeliefs, and you are in alignment of who you are, universe will support all of that. And I've seen that. I have absolutely seen it. But I had to do things that I was uncomfortable of doing. I didn't see the point of them doing. I felt like this is all a garbage, whatever is this twin flame thing. But when I started to do work with my belief of love, how do I receive love and who I am, my insecurities and fears, and the energy healing, of course, it changed everything for me. I don't know how many Reiki sessions I have done, how many Kundalini sessions, how many hours of meditations. I don't even put them in because it doesn't matter. What matters is I went deep. And that's so important. And that's for the rest of your life. Because if you engage in activities that raise your frequency, such as, let's say, you're practicing gratitude, of being thankful for your twin flame, you're being thankful for them to come to your life. You connect with the meditation, with your mindfulness. You are in that element. The higher your vibration, the more you're aligned. And you become with the conditional love, which is the key of attracting reunion. And I wish I could tell you that you can do that from the mind, you can do by blocking at someone, you can do by not saying anything, you can isolate yourself and all of that and just be on that loop. No. And this is why I offer that, for example, you have the group sessions of Kundalini activations and you can do private. I would say, if you have a finances, and if you can do it, do once a month or once in every month a one activation or channeling. And it doesn't have to be with me. Maybe you connect with someone else who is helping you. Why? I would especially say the activation and channeling, because you are creating that field on that moment. I had very interesting, I haven't spoken a lot about it, and I don't want to also say so much about it, but I just quickly say, I had one woman who came to this journey, and within 4 months, they are in a much better alignment with a twin. But there was so much she was purging, she was going through, she has to dive deep into, and she really invested. She said, I believe in that energy, and I see it. And to be honest, within 4 months, there is such a change. And even for me, it was surprising. I said, wow, so quickly? And that's how easy it is. But she really invested. She went into a deep inner healing, inner child healing, all of the yoga. So she did a lot in a very short period of time. And then it happened. But I'm going to say, normally I don't want to talk about these fast, quick fixes, because they just, in my perspective, give a wrong impression. So yeah, you have to change and shift your frequency, and then it will happen. Only like that. So, and then what would be the last one? What would be the last question I get very often? Let's talk about what's the point of doing the energy healing? What is the point of meditating? What is the point of all of that? I just want my twin flame to back in my life. Yeah, but there is a point, because you are supposed to become your higher self. And just to say that twin flames are connected through the heart chakra. And that's why they opened your heart. And balanced heart chakra, when you're balancing your heart chakra, both twin flames experience unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, and deeper bond. Of course, balancing divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Both twins are carrying masculine and feminine energies. And it doesn't matter, are you a woman or a man, however you call yourself, you have both energies. And when you balance these energies, you ensuring that one is not too dominant or suppressed. Again, the balance is essential in your life, and it's in everything. In your relationship, in your work, in your business, in your career, in your happiness, it has to be balanced. So when you also, because you have a activation, like you start to spiritually awaken during this time. So you need to have some kind of an understanding how important it is. But I want to say here something before when you do any healing work or any meditation today, or when you do anything with an understanding, I want them to come back, or I want them to do this. Again, you're focusing the energy outside. You're not focusing the energy inside. Don't do these things because of them. Do it because of you. And you will see when your energy shifts, how their energy is going to shift. It's like going into the fact of, I want someone else to change, but I'm not changing my inside of me. So I'm going to also say that on Patreon, you will find the heart. It's also on YouTube, heart chakra activation, which is done for that meditation, which is done for you. Do these things and see how so many things start to change in your life. Doesn't matter, are you 20, 30, 40, 70, 60 years old today? You have a chance to become who you really are. So yeah, that was today's episode. It was a bit long. I thought it's going to be shorter, but it was a bit long. And if you have any questions, you want to know about it, or something was not so clear, then drop the comments down below. Stay here. Share your vision. Share your understanding. It's a community. It's about spreading love, spreading light, and your opinion matters as much as anything else. Thank you for being here. Just few things to go over. Those who wish to join on Patreon, you have workshops, you have things that you can do by yourself, anytime, any place. And you will also support this channel of Keep On Going It. I'm really, really grateful and thankful for those who can do that, because I'm not, I do this for my free time. I'm not taking any sponsors or anybody to support that channel, because that's not my idea. So I just want to say a huge thank you for those, because you are the supporter, you are the sponsor through Patreon or any other way. Those who wish to have a call with me, or they need some clarity, or they need to get into the alignment and they feel now it's my time, now I'm ready for it, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, and you are more than welcome. If you are a Patreon member, there are coupons coming up for the Patreon, or so you have a chance to get a little cheaper. It's not always, but if you are there, you have a chance. So yeah, that's what it is, and thank you for being here. Lots of love and lots of light.
Another night and I'm just walking, city lights and people talking. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I wonder if you got that feeling, staring at your bedroom ceiling. I think about me the way I think about you. Could you tell me, should I let you go? Yeah, I gotta know, if I'm gonna be yours, so don't you keep me waiting. Yeah, I have to know, if you wanna be mine, 'cause this is so frustrating. Tell me now, don't keep me waiting. Hey, these four walls get so depressing. Fuck me and my second guessing, reading every text you sent just one more time. It's quiet when we both are sober, but 2 drinks in and we start all over again, and it feels so right. So just tell me, should I let you go? Yeah, I gotta know, if I'm gonna be yours, so don't you keep me waiting. Just lose my mind 'cause of you. Yeah, I gotta know, if I'm gonna be yours, so don't you keep me waiting. Yeah, I have to know, if you wanna be mine.